is progressing, Dr. Cranston? What kind of fascinating things you're finding down there in that sunken wreck?
Well, there's nothing very exciting so far, Mr. Salvington.
Perhaps after lunch we could go out to the boat, see what your divers have salvaged.
I'm sorry. There's really no point. Truly.
You're much too modest. We're not going to let you off that easily. Oh, excuse me. My other guest must be arriving.
Mr. Salvington has a talent for insisting.
Well, for once, he's going to have to be disappointed.
But, Doctor, you can't. What shall I tell him?
Tell him I have a very heavy schedule tomorrow, and that Sunday is my day of rest. Thing off. What are you doing? You should be down in the habitat.
Presumed dead. That's all the Mexican authorities can tell me.
Presumed? You mean your father's body hasn't been found?
No, but his wetsuit and air tank are missing.
The logical conclusion is that your father went diving without telling anyone, and he got into difficulties.
No, Mr. McBride. My father had a rule. Never dive alone.
I can see how the local police have handled this. It says here that your father was at a champagne brunch. They probably figured he had a couple of drinks, and then he went for a dive. Is that correct, Miss Cranston?
Yes, that's what they're saying, Mr. Ryan. But they're wrong. My father would never have a drink before diving. He had a set of rules, and he lived by them. If he's dead, he died by them, not by some stupid accident. Now, somebody murdered him, and I'd like you to help me prove it. I have a list of his business associates and his crew and his rivals. They're the ones written in green.
Who's in charge of the expedition now?
I am. The university's given me a leave of absence. My plane leaves in an hour. I'd just like some support, that's all.
Mac? Well, for starters, you've hired yourself a replacement diver.
Cranston tells me that you work with her at the university.
Mostly field projects. You're a friend of her father's, huh?
Yes. I helped him set up this project. I am a biologist, Mr. Ryan, and a public servant. Dr. Cranston made a deal with my government. In return for salvaging the cargo of an 18th century wreck lying out here, he was granted permission to start an experimental program later this year.
The ocean farming project?
Yes, over in the Sea of Cortez. It was his dream. Now, I hope his daughter will see it through to reality.
Well, if she didn't intend to, I wouldn't be here.
If I can be of any service, Mr. Ryan, you have but to ask.
You mean that? Well, of course. Good. Your turn.
This is Pete Ryan, a member of my marine biology group. He'll be diving with the habitat team. This is Brown.
How do you do?
Posada.
Hello?
Schneider. Stinch.
How are you?
And up there we have O'Dugan.
So, you think you're a diver, eh? Well, I completed my California sub-aqua course. Oh, terrific. What'd you have to do? Snorkel the whole length of a college pool? Well, actually, my postgraduate course took me on a 3-month tour of duty with an old reliable firm called Cousteau & Son. You've heard of them, haven't you? Right.
You better get some rest. You'll be diving tomorrow.
Okay.
Mrs. Sada, would you show Mr. Ryan where to stow his gear?
She brought some college dude down with her. One of those Malibu Sunday divers. You ask me, he's some kind of snoop. They've been asking questions about the dock. And you can bet she has other friends on the way. Yeah, they're gonna spy on us. And the tuna jocks. Gonna turn this whole place inside out. We gotta find somebody to blame now that the old man's turned up missing.
You know, you could run into trouble this way.
I just wanted to make sure you were all right.
Oh, really? Don't tell me that. You were just worried that I would run away after meeting that wonderful group of fellows that you laughingly call a crew.
Oh, come on. They're not as savage as they look.
Maybe they were upset because of the biology class.
I had to tell them something. I didn't want to make them suspicious.
They already are suspicious. Someone's turned me over.
Listen, Pete, you've got to be careful. You can't do anything till your partner gets here.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, buenos dias, senor. ¿Habla inglés?
Oh, sí. Today, the whole world is a village. What can I do to you, please?
Well, yes. How about some eggs?
Oh, you want a breakfast Americana?
No. I cook myself here. Maybe half a dozen eggs and some orange juice.
Oh, qué lindos. Your pictures are very beautiful, senor.
Oh, thank you. You're very kind. Why don't you hang a couple of these, say, on the walls of your cantina? I'll be here a couple of days. Maybe somebody might buy one.
Well, that one is very pretty.
Buenos dias, senores. You care to buy a painting?
No, senor. We are tuna fishermen. We cannot afford such luxuries.
Very reasonable.
You paint this picture, senor?
Yes, I do.
Porpoises, huh?
Yep. Beautiful, aren't they?
You know, we don't get too many visitors this time of the year. Do you have friends around here?
No, I've never been here before. Oh, I've got friends everywhere I go. I travel a lot.
Are you a friend of Dr. Cranston?
Dr. Cranston? No, I don't think I ever met him.
Well, you see, this Dr. Cranston, he's a kind-hearted American. As a matter of fact, the leader of an organization of kind-hearted Americans who are sickened to find out that when we take out the tuna, we also must kill many porpoises.
See, I'm terribly sorry to hear that. I don't mind telling you.
You know, you are a liar, senor. You are a friend of Dr. Cranston.
No seas grosero, Ernesto. Hablar así a un extraño.
Te metas en esto, Clarita. I heard the men from the Coral Sea talking.
What has that to do with this man?
Well, you see, whenever there is any trouble around here, it is we, the poor fishermen, the atuneros, who always get blamed for it. They believe this girl has been hiring people to spy on us. And I think this man is one of them. If you are here tomorrow morning, senor, then I shall know you are the enemy.
Some treasure. Well, she wasn't exactly a stately Spanish galleon loaded with gold. Just a working coaster. These artifacts are all going to the local museum anyway.
Oh, they're beautiful. Really beautiful. But you said your father's real interest was this.
It was his dream. Mine, too. Farming the ocean. Raising fish on specially cultivated weeds, plankton, nutrients. Scientifically selected and crossbred, fenced off in their own caged areas, safe from predators.
A whole new food source.
Well, it's low cost, high protein. I helped him select the site on the continental shelf off Baja. Ideal location.
Baja? That's the other side of Mexico. Yet your father's undersea headquarters is below this yacht.
Well, he felt while he was salvaging the artifacts from the galleon, he could start the divers in training for the habitat. So they go down in pairs and stay submerged for 48 hours. I'll take you down there later and show you. Right now, I want to go ashore. Rafael Garcia called me. Wants me to sign some papers.
You mind if I tag along? I'd like to absorb some local color.
Sure.
That's a beautiful picture.
Oh, you like that?
Oh, yes, that's very, very pretty.
Oh, you're very kind. Thank you, thank you.
Where are you from?
Oh, you can take your pick. California, Alaska, Honolulu. I'm an American original.
I'll bet when you were with the Bunko Squad, you forged some nifty Picassos, huh?
You can just bet your rusty dusty I did.
What's the word?
Zilch. Anybody on Lottie Cranston's list has been in trouble somewhere, someplace. Oh, I just had a big run-in with the fishermen here. They're a rough, tough bunch.
Well, that means that we have two groups that are capable of skullduggery and mayhem. Which means that we don't have any lead at all. Is that correct?
That's correct. I'd like to do your portrait for you. They tried to run me out of town.
Why?
They think I'm a snoop.
Could I see some of your other pictures?
Why, yes, I've got some larger canvases in the van. Step over here, if you will, please. What kind of paintings do you prefer?
Well, I like this landscape. That's very attractive.
You do, huh? Maggie just did a rundown on Salvinson. He's the guy that hosted the luncheon the day that Dr. Cranston disappeared. She says he's a Mexican national born in Sweden, very rich.
Where'd he make his money?
I don't know. Malcolm's running that down through his contacts.
You know, I think it would be a lot healthier for us if we weren't seen together too much.
Yeah, come inside my van, will you? See what they did to my porpoises.
Well, maybe they're just bluffing, Mac.
We're in a foreign country. We don't want to get arrested. That was your final warning, senor. Get out of this area, now!
Take it easy. We don't want to get thrown in jail, do we? Take it easy. Come on.
Senor.
You
cannot stop here, senor. You're not allowed here. Nobody.
I'm a painter, you see. I just wanted to paint this scene here with these beautiful trees, the sea. It's very nice. And I thought...
Senor, excuse me. You're not allowed here. No one is allowed here.
Oh, well,
You got to go, senor.
I'll go down the coast a little ways. I like this. I like it.
Yes, sir?
Just a minute. Hold still. Look up here. Look up here. Up here.
Well, what is this, senor?
No, this way. This way. Come here.
Yeah.
Now look out here with the sun. Ah! That's it. Oh, you have the face of an eagle. Oh, I must say, no, a toreador. Manolete. Hey, toro, hey, yeah. Arusa, that's what it is. Now, please, quickly.
Hey, do you really think so?
You see that house? I want your face here, the house in the background. Tell your employer that I'd like to paint it. See?
Are you going to paint me?
Paint you with the house in the background.
I do that.
Very good. Hurry, the light's going.
Right now.
Yeah.
Rafael Garcia. He helped Dad negotiate the Mexican deal.
And when you saw him today, he was helpful, huh?
Very. He had the papers drawn up, and I signed them.
Promising to complete the salvage operation?
And the farming experiment. But Rafael really encouraged me. I think you should cross him off your list.
Not yet. He may have an ulterior motive. He also may have a couple of your divers on his payroll.
How do you do? My name is Maxwell Perriman. Painter.
What is this, sales pitch?
Oh, well, the part about the guard, yes. I'm not a portrait man. Houses are my thing. That hacienda, I'd like very much to paint that, if you don't mind.
I see. And then you sell the painting to me?
Not necessarily. I'll make several, and if you like one, I'm not expensive.
And if I do not like any?
I'll sell it to some less fortunate soul next winter.
How much do you charge?
200.
You are cheap, Mr. Perryman.
No, not cheap. Reasonable. I have simple tastes.
Very well. Go ahead. Manricus will show you around.
You're very kind. Thank you.
Really a fantastic layout. This is really an achievement.
Well, it's got all the home comforts.
Yeah, hurry on down to my house, baby. Ain't it without me? Wouldn't have to worry about any bill collectors down here, would you? What a view. Now, those are the kind of neighbors that I would like to have. Nice and quiet.
Well, it is a very exclusive neighborhood.
Misty? You don't have to worry about privacy down here.
Oh, with adjustments, men and women should be able to spend long periods of time here in interspace, living and working together normally.
Normally, huh? You know, I do think that you have overlooked one thing in your planning.
Overlooked? What?
As a biologist, you'll have to agree that any comprehensive, in-depth study of subterranean living couldn't possibly neglect one vital area of human behavior.
Something's happened to the flood valve. It's letting all the air out. So you check it from outside while I call topside for help.
afternoon, senor.
Good afternoon. You speak English?
Yes.
Oh. You'd like to take a little look?
Thank you. Wow, she grow bigger. She come close. Wonderful.
You like ships?
Yes, and I like to watch the divers. I see them very close near to where I live.
Oh? You live on the coast here?
Yes, many times. I see them come on shore near my village.
Uh-huh. What do you say, you and I take a little run over? We'll have a look around, huh?
He was going to come back, take the clamp off the hatch, to make it look like the habitat flooded by accident.
And leave us trapped inside. At least now we know it has to be one of the divers.
It could be more than one of the divers.
Well, all the tanks are accounted for, and none's empty.
They could have had time to refill their tanks. That means we have to keep our eye on all of them. When does the next pair go down to the habitat?
I'm sending Stinch and his partner right away to check the flood damage.
I'd better follow along. Took straight off. Right into that transport machine. Thanks.
The Seahorse.
Didn't go anywhere near the habitat. They took straight out. Out to sea. East.
The most likely answer is dope. Mexican brown horse, probably. Heroin, Colombian lady, cocaine.
You think my divers are bringing in from somewhere around here?
Yeah, I think they've been using the facilities of the Coral Sea to take it out to sea for a pickup. Out of the sight of land. And I think that that's what your father found out. That's probably the reason that he was killed.
Hi there, Mr. Ryan. Well, how do you do, pretty lady? Ask me to sit down.
Won't you join us?
Oh, thank you.
This is Mr. Perriman. He paints pictures. This is Lottie Cranston.
Miss Cranston?
Harriman?
I just saw two of your divers come ashore about 7 miles down the coast with one of those underwater transports.
The Seahorse, Stinch and Snyder.
And they were carrying something heavy.
Did you tail him?
Couldn't. Tide was in. I had to park way down at the end. By the time I got back there, they'd disappeared under the rock somewhere.
Excuse us a moment, will you please, Miss Cranston? Perriman.
Come on, Perriman.
Gracias, senor.
Meet you behind the van.
Malcolm, what's up? It's got to be something big for you to come all the way down here.
I came here to warn you two guys. The Salverson character, he's a phony. You hear what I'm telling you? He's a phony. The real one died in 1945.
45?
How'd he die?
Well, it seems he was a Swedish businessman on a sales trip to Germany. Yeah. Now, you know, Sweden was a neutral in the Second World War.
Yeah, that's right.
Go ahead. Well, it seems he died in an Allied air raid about 2 weeks before the collapse of Nazi Germany, 1945.
2 weeks? That's when all the top Nazis were desperately trying to get out of there.
Over here.
I got it.
Somebody's taken Salvinson's identity, right?
This is an exit visa issued in Berlin. Nazi party stamp a couple of days before Hitler was killed. I think you're right. Whoever this guy is, he stole the passport off of Salvinson's body after he was dead.
Wow. You know what he came to tell us, don't you, Mac?
Huh?
We may have found Hitler's missing deputy.
Martin Bormann. That fits. Stinch and his mate left the ship to inspect the flooded habitat. Only they wound up out in here, on that seahorse.
And 3 hours later, I see them coming into this cove right here. That's, what is that? What would you say, 7 miles?
Yeah, about that.
But then they disappeared completely.
I think we better tell the federales.
What good would that do? We can't prove anything. How fast can that seahorse go?
Top speed is 9 knots.
No wonder you couldn't keep up.
That represents about 9 nautical miles. That means it would put them out in this area, someplace out in here, in the open sea. Now, I wonder why they would want to be out in the open sea. Lottie, you and I are going to organize a search.
Fine. I'm just a little confused.
What about?
Well, first we started with the dope smuggling, and now it's all this Nazi stuff.
Yeah, me too. I don't understand what this Martin Bormann, the #1 Nazi criminal, has to do.
No. Salvinson's not Bormann.
Oh, I'm sorry I spooked you folks.
Neuhofer. That's who it is. Colonel Wolfgang Neuhofer, Hitler's bodyguard, stormtrooper, and mass murderer.
I know about Neuhofer, Mac, but what makes you so sure?
I studied Nazi criminals.
But he could have had plastic surgery here.
No, it's not only his appearance, his face, it's the earmarks, the history, especially the history. The submarines came right in here. He's working in this territory. Neuhofer.
You mean that old story about Neuhofer deserting Hitler's Berlin bunker because of a Russian artillery barrage?
He made his way to Bremerhaven, got into a sub there carrying gold bullion. Gold bullion? That's what these guys were carrying. Gold is very heavy. Their footprints were twice as deep in the sand as mine.
Gold bullion. That's heavy stuff. Very heavy, all right.
Okay, that's it, Salvinson. Payoff time.
According to my calculations, gentlemen, there's a considerable amount left in the U-boat.
Sorry, you're gonna have to bring it up yourself. We're cutting out today. Now, we tried to get rid of Ryan and the girl. Somehow we fouled up. So just give us our share. Now. In cash. Like we agreed.
I will need that box.
How'd it go?
Well, we got out to the sub.
Yeah.
5 miles out. Flying at 22 fathoms, almost covered with weed.
Did you get inside?
Yeah, we did. There were some ingots still lying around. The bodies of the crew, what was left of them.
Pete, what else did you find?
We found your father, Lottie.
Oh, God.
He was murdered. I'm real sorry.
We're going to have to notify the authorities.
What are we going to tell them, Mac?
Well, that Salvinson was a Nazi. They must know the Neuhofer story.
Well, all of us weren't around at that time, Mac. Maybe you ought to fill us in.
Well, according to this one version, the submarine carrying the bullion came ashore on this barren coast. Neuhofer entered into a conspiracy with the captain, then they scuttled us up. They locked the crew in a compartment there and drowned them. Then Neuhofer shot and killed the captain.
Leaving himself sole survivor and custodian of the bullion.
No, he'd have trouble salvaging it himself. 22 fathoms, that's nearly 130 feet down.
He'd pick up a bar or two at a time, you see, just enough to live comfortably.
And the job grew tougher year by year as he grew older.
Yeah, and so along came Dr. Cranston with the Coral Sea, and so Neuhofer hired a couple of the men to moonlight for him. Miss Cranston, do you suppose we could get the federales on this?
I don't think that's the way to go about it, Mac.
Oh?
No, Salvinson or Neuhofer, he's got a head start on us. About 30 years. He's a Mexican citizen, he's rich, he's powerful. Extradition could take years.
Yeah.
You know who'd wind up in a Mexican calaboose, don't you?
Who?
You and me.
Yeah, well, there's another way. The men who picked up Adolf Eichmann, they didn't even bother to apply for extradition. Senorita Cranston and I have asked you to come together here. We invite you to work with us to force this murderer, this mass killer, out into the open. And when we find him, we turn him over to the law. But first, I want you to meet somebody very important, someone who's going to work with us. This is Major Dor Federer of the Israeli Intelligence Service.
Say the name is Federer, senor. Dor Federer.
Federer. Yes. Eso es todo.
Major Federer. That's right, senor. On vacation.
From Israel. How interesting.
More than you know. They say that he's one of the team that kidnapped the Nazi war criminal Adolf Eichmann in Argentina.
Thank you.
You don't want to be caught in the shooting, do you? Huh?
The Israelis are coming. The Israelis are coming.
Cesar! Marisa! Menriquez!
road. He's heading for the beach.
That leads to the cove where I lost those divers.
That's where they've been storing the gold, in a cave.
We can climb down the cliff and follow him in.
Disappointed in you, Colonel Newhouser. Walking straight into my trap. I'm leading you to your goal.
Oh, hello, Colonel Newhopper. Hey, this gold links you to that sub. And that sub links you to countless killings.
That U-boat has many dead bodies in it. But we're only interested in one, Dr. Dane Cranston.
Yeah, we won't need any extradition papers.
We can get you for murder right here.
I just spoke to Garcia on the radio. The Federales dug up 2 more stiffs in that cave.
Oh, stench in his power. Well, money and power is not going to beat 3 counts of murder.
Well, at least they can't accuse Dad of getting drunk and going off on his own. Saying thanks to you guys doesn't seem enough. I know. We ought to celebrate.
Sorry, fellas. We don't have time for that. Are you suited up?
No. What for?
What for? We're short-handed, remember? You and I have to do 48 hours down in the habitat.
Oh, that's right. Things shouldn't interfere with our in-depth experiments. Excuse me.
See you fellas back in L.A., huh?